Ramayana is a story that every child must be told. I cannot imagine my childhood without my grandmother telling me the stories. It's a story that we can listen to again and again and again and again, and we never get tired listening to it. Ramayana depicts to us all those great ideals. The ideal son, the ideal brother, with the blessings and inspiration of the great visionary, Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda. Chinmaya Mission is presenting this audio drama on the Ramayana.
This May, a retelling like never before. A magical audio experience.
Father has made a promise.
Wow.
I am not going to surrender to a man who has been thrown out by his own people.
That was amazing.
Ramayana, the legend retold. Listen now on leading audio platforms.
Hari Om. Let me start with the question. Where is your house key right now? Maybe it is in your pocket, or in your bag, or lying safely on a table at home. We are incredibly careful with our physical keys, aren't we? We check on them constantly because we know if we lose them, we get locked out. We lose our access to warmth, safety, and comfort. But let us ask ourselves a much deeper question. Where is the key to our happiness? Whose pocket have we put it in? Have we noticed how often our happiness depends on someone else? We feel good only when we get praise for our work. We feel valued when a friend replies to our message. We feel peaceful when things go exactly as we planned. The moment they don't, we feel low. Does this sound familiar? If it does, don't worry. Almost all of us live a life like this. We are told again and again that we need something outside us to be happy. The advertisements tells us this. Even our own mind tells us this. The message is always the same. Once I get this thing, once I get that promotion, once that person loves me back, then I'll be finally happy. So without realizing it, we take the key to our own happiness and hand it over to someone else. We give it to another person, or to a result, or to a situation. And once we do that, we are bound to suffer, to get disturbed, because nothing outside us stays the same. People change, situations change, moods change. So anything we depend on for our happiness will sooner or later lets us down. Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda lived his entire life showing us a completely different way to live life. He embodied a state of absolute inner freedom, captured beautifully in the sacred name Om Nirapekṣāya Namaḥ. Salutations to the one who has no expectations, who depends on nothing and no one for his happiness. Gurudev was what the scriptures call a Jivan Mukta, someone who was completely free even while living in this body. This is not a small thing to say about anyone. Most of us spend our whole life looking outside ourselves for even a small moment of peace. But Gurudev did not need to look outside. He did not need the world to fill something missing in him. What does that even mean for us ordinary people? The scriptures say a Jivan Mukta like Gurudev was already full within himself, overflowing with joy that didn't come from anything outside, a state called Nijananda, the happiness that is our true nature. Not the kind of happiness or something that depends on getting what we want. We can't really say we understand what that feels like, but we are told that because he was already content from within. The world had nothing left to give him that he needed, and nothing left to take from him that he feared losing. Perhaps this is where Nirapeksha came from in him. Not something he had to force himself to practice, but simply how a life already full, natural showed up. Today, let us walk through few glimpses of how Gurudev lived this truth, how it transformed lives during moments of great struggle, and how all of us can reclaim the key to our own happiness. To truly understand Nirapeksha, the state of non-dependency, we have to look at how Gurudev taught. For him, every moment was a teaching. He did not just lecture from a podium. He used everyday situations to wake us up. Let us go back to Chennai to January 1993. Gurudev was visiting the ashram in Thamaripakam, about 40 kilometers from Chennai city. The ashram has a beautiful temple dedicated to Lord Shiva, built in the shape of Shivalinga. The temple is on the first floor and the main hall is on the ground floor. Gurudev, with his aging, frail body, climbed the steps to offer his prayers. After some time in the sanctum, it was time to come back down. The very last step of those stairs was unusually high, much higher than a normal step. For a young, agile person, it was nothing. But for Gurudev's body, it was a steep, uncomfortable drop. A sevak, standing right at the bottom, watching Gurudev approach, out of pure love, he stretched out his hand to offer some support. Gurudev placed his hand in the sevak's hand for a moment. But a second later, he pulled it back. He looked straight into the sevak's eyes, took a deep breath, and stepped down that high step entirely on his own. He didn't just step down quietly either. He planted his walking stick, leaned on it, slowly lifted his leg, and with a heavy sigh, brought himself down, almost like he wanted everyone watching to notice. Someone whispered, "We must get the bricks to build a platform. The step is too high." But Gurudev looked and said, "Never depend, walk alone." Let us sit with that for a moment. Taking someone's hand for a high step is such a small thing. But Gurudev chose that exact moment to teach us something big. He was telling us people will come forward to help. The world will offer us support, but inside we need to build the strength to walk alone. Our real support isn't outside, it is within us. And that sevak is none other than our own beloved Swamiji, Swami Mitranandji. If this one lesson can still move us so deeply, decades later listening, imagine what it must have meant for Swamiji himself, standing right there, receiving it directly from Gurudev. Blessed we are to be connected even today with people who were able to meet and be with Gurudev himself. When we have no expectations from the world, we are not easily shaken. We can't be bought and we can't be manipulated. We saw the spirit clearly when Gurudev was launching the project, the Harihara schools, village schools where children could learn practical skills like carpentry, tailoring, alongside regular education, so they wouldn't have to move to the crowded cities to just earn a living. A prominent industrialist was moved by his vision. He offered to fund and build 600 of these schools across the country. It was a huge offer, but a few days later, he came back with one condition. After Gurudev's time, his foundation would need a 70% of a say to run the school. Do we know what Gurudev did? Without hesitation, he turned it down. He told the industrialist, do not place conditions on a sannyasi. If you want to give without conditions, no strings attached. Where did that courage come from? We can only imagine it came from a faith so steady it never wavered. It is said Gurudev believed noble work never stopped for the want of money, that he depended not on the industrialist but on the Lord. He seemed to trust that if the intention was pure, the resources would come, and they did. Nirapeksha also means staying unaffected by criticism. In the early 90s, Gurudev wanted to organize dance recitals across Indian cities for a young devotee from the US, Shri Nandini Ranganji. Many people in the mission were doubtful. They said, why put so much effort in a dance recital for a teenager? Is it just because she is Gurudev's favorite? When the work stalled at one center, Gurudev called for a meeting. He said, for the last 38 or 39 years, I have been working for the mission. When I wake up, all I think is of the mission. I would not utter a word if it were not necessary. I would not initiate a project if it were not required. You simply follow, you do not decide. Then he explained the real vision behind. Nandini ji was willing to teach Indian classical dance to children growing in the US. If she was received in the cities like Chennai and Mumbai, it would give her confidence to carry the teaching to the West and help those children stay connected to their roots. While others were caught up in the small talk, Gurudev was thinking generations ahead. He clearly did not need their approval to move forward. In this, we get a small glimpse of what it means to live Nirapeksha, free from needing others' validation. This is the same freedom we are being called to build within ourselves. It is easy to admire these qualities of a great master like Gurudev. But the real test is, can we apply the same when the life gets hard for us? Some time ago, we found ourselves in a tough spot. We were working on a community project, an important one, but right at the start, things fell apart. We had no volunteers, we had no funds, no institutional support, and no clear way forward. I remember sitting in our workplace late one night, wondering how we would move forward at all. In that moment, Gurudev's words came back to us. Hold on to Narayana and Lakshmi will follow. Gurudev always reminded us, don't chase the resources. Focus on the cause and the spirit of service, and the resources will follow. We realized we had put our key to happiness in the pockets of our own expectations, waiting for others to volunteer, waiting for the donors, waiting for approval, and we made ourselves helpless. So we changed our approach. We decided to practice Nirapekṣatvam, doing the work without expecting anything back. We sat down as a team, made a simple resolve, keep our intentions clear, put in our full effort, stop worrying about the support, or how the funds will come, and hold on to Narayana. Let the rest take care of itself. And something shifted. We didn't get a sudden wind of money, nor 100 volunteers turn up overnight. But right when we needed, a pair of hands came in. Someone walked in and offered a help. Right when a bill was due, small contributions arrived from different places we hadn't expected. Everything we needed arrived just in time. That experience taught us something simple but real. When our intentions are clear and our expectations are empty, we stop begging for the world to support and things start to flow. So, living this way isn't about running off to Himalayas. It's about building the kind of an inner strength right where we are, at our workplace, at our home, at our communities. To help us take this step, we could carry a few simple practical ideas from Gurudev's life into our daily routine. To start with, before we sleep tonight, let us make a conscious decision to let go of any lingering hurt that we carry, and let us say to ourselves, I am taking the key to my happiness back into my pocket. I don't depend on anyone's approval, praise, or blame to feel complete. Next, if we must depend on something, let us depend on the divine within us, not the temporary things of the world. Before we start our day, let us sit quietly for 2 minutes. Connect with our inner self and say, I am anchored in the divine. I am ready to face whatever comes today. Going ahead, we should give more than we take. Let this be our mantra. A person who feels empty inside always keeps asking for love and appreciation. A person who's full from inside will work without expecting anything in return. And the last thing that we can do is, in everything we do, our work, our home, or in the service that we do, let us keep our intentions very clear. When challenges come, let us pause, connect with the divine, and simply remember that we are doing our part. Let us do our best and leave the rest. Let us remember Gurudev stepping down that last high step at Tamaripakam, smiling at us, urging us forward. Pujya Gurudev once wrote something very beautiful in a letter to a devotee. The journey is long and alone we must walk. With love and devotion, serve all along the way. I will meet you one day. For that blissful moment I shall wait. Walking alone doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means growing so strong and full within that we can give love to the world without even needing anything back. Never depend, walk alone, and discover the joy that already belongs to us. Om Nirapekṣāya Namaḥ. Hari Om.